Hi there, it's Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I play with these goodies for Scrapbook Boutique. I was a few Christmas cards short for the number that I needed to send out this year, so I'm finishing off with these 4, which I pumped out pretty quickly today. I'm using some bright Distress Oxide inks, the Wonky Stitches Wonky stitched rectangle stacks, as you can see, to cut the base shape that my stamping will be on, and some beautiful pattern papers from the Here Comes Santa Claus Doodlebug pad. So as you can see here, I'm being very thrifty. I'm not using the whole piece of patterned paper. I actually cut the middle out to save to use again next year, because I do adore those papers. I've really loved using them. So what I'm basically doing is just stamping a nice bright Distress Oxide sentiment on each card. So this is going on the die cut, the Wonky stitched rectangle die cut piece, and 4 different Distress Oxide colours I've used, and then I'm going to accent or decorate the sentiments with a few leftover die cut bits and pieces that I used on earlier cards, probably a month or more ago when I first started my Christmas cards. So stamping with my Misty, which was very useful because I did have to go back and stamp twice a couple of times just to patch up a little bit that might have missed or didn't quite get a full impression. So love the Misty for that, so helpful. You can never go wrong, really. So that looks so beautiful though. Distress Oxide inks give such a beautiful clean, clear impression. It's gorgeous. So the fa la la was a little bit trickier. I decided I wanted to have fa la 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 la, of course, as you do. So I had to mask off quite a bit with a little bit of painter's tape, which is what I'm grabbing here. Once I clean off my stamp and stamp it off to the side and stamp it on my hand and make sure that it's definitely got no ink left on it, I then place it down in where I'm going to use the next la la bit, and once I work out where I want that to be, I pick it up with the lid of my Misty, and then I'm going to cut a piece of painter's tape and stick that onto the far part because I don't need the far again. And then I just ink up the la la, pull off the painter's tape and stamp that. So I have to do that 3 times in all to get the extra la 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 la's. So it's not too hard, just a little bit fiddly, getting my fingernail in there, pulling out a bit of ink that got where it shouldn't be, tissue to drag out the last little bit, and in the end it all worked out quite well. A little bit juicy, this Candied Apple Distress Oxide ink pad, so I did have a fair bit of ink on this one, but it worked out quite well in the end. So I'm sorry I tend to get a bit off screen at the bottom here, so I don't make you sit through all of that. I do add the last la la la, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. I do add them at the bottom, and here you can see all 4. And don't they look lovely? So bright and happy. So then it's just a matter of working out, which I had done earlier. I knew which colours were going to go on which patterned papers. I'm just matching them all up, and then I'll get out all my little leftover die cut wreath pieces and holly pieces, and I'll lay them all out, and then I'm going to work out which bits are going to go around which sentiments, and I add a few extra little stamp details as well, and have a lovely time putting them all together. Right, now it's at this point with all my little die cut pieces ready in position that I just wanted to add a few little stamped details. So I grabbed out a couple of older floral stamp sets that I had, a couple of ink colours, and I'm just stamping this little berry cluster from, I think it was Avery L. I'll just check that. It's the Avery L Fabulous Floral stamp set from many years ago, and that's where that little cluster of three little berries, if you like, comes from. And then there's a smaller little cluster as well in that set, which I'm stamping in pink. And then I've pulled out the stars that are actually in the MFT Handwritten Holidays stamp set, and I'll just be stamping those in two different Versacolour inks, gold and silver, just around the outside of my sentiments. And then once I stick all my pieces down, my cards are complete. And there they are, the four of them, all finished and looking bright and happy. I certainly hope you have a bright and happy Christmas with loved ones this year. I'd like to thank you all for your support throughout 2017, and I hope you'll continue to keep watching in the new year. Merry Christmas.